You just said we were talking about specifically women. We were talking about specifically women that are high earners, and they can't even deal with average men or men that make decent money because they feel, oh, he's gonna be insecure about my money. What kind of woman would go and say, I have to light a fire under his ass? And if I don't, and if you don't, what kind of woman? Who would want to be with a woman like that?
Nobody. She doesn't.
Imagine if we came to this panel and we heard women talk about how they were insecure about being house moms or mothers or wives, and then you come and then you have a group of men come up here and say, "Man, I had to light a fire under my wife's ass because she wasn't doing what the fuck she was supposed to do."
And he's gonna explain why men avoid women who make money. So rich women, women with lots of money, apparently men avoid dating them or marrying them or getting into relationships. Let's see what he says.
For example, against you, right? We had a woman on this panel who made the argument that made that same argument as you, right? And we asked her, we was like, give us an example of this man feeling insecure. We was like, did he ever say that to you? She said, no, he never said it, but I can tell by the way he treated me. We said, okay, how did he treat you? She was like, oh, well, when me and my homegirls, we used to plan vacations. And then what we did was, what my homegirls went back to their man and said, hey, this is what we planned. Are we going? And the man says, that's not enough. We can't afford that. And she would say, well, I would just pay half. Even though she was talking about women that actually had the money to pay for the trip. But she told that man, hey, look, I want to do this. And what happens is I'm gonna tell you this. This is how men get insecure about a woman with money, right? If I'm dating you and I'm with you and I know I cannot afford something, and you come to me and you plan a trip and it's outside my price range and you bring me a bill, what man wouldn't be like, we can't afford that? And then you say, well, I want to go anyway, so either I'm going to go without you or you got to come up with your half.
That's not cooperation. And let me ask you this, Homie Dad, because this will be the first time I actually questioned you. My question, oh shit, well damn.
My bad, bro. We was having a
go ahead, goddamn, go ahead.
But I'm gonna tell you this, Di. Most of the time, we've heard women tell these stories, and every time we start to ask them, and we ask them 3 layers deep, we ask them questions 3 layers deep, it normally always backfires to them doing something that will make a man feel insecure. It's never he just comes out the woodworks and just treat her wrong. It's never that he feels any type of way about it. We hear they all of a sudden they get their money, then they say, my money is my money and your money is your money, or my money is my money, your money is my money. Anytime I've seen men feel insecure about money, it's because there was something that was going on in that relationship where she's done something or said something to him that will make him put him in a position to be like, I can't deal with this.
And that's facts, man. Usually when a man meets a woman and she's making or she's used to a certain lifestyle, no, it doesn't matter whether she uses her own money to fund that lifestyle, or if the ex-boyfriend, ex-husband, got her used to a certain lifestyle. Let's say a woman is used to going on vacation 3 times a year, right? You, the new man, boyfriend or husband, she's going to expect you to keep up that same standard, whether she's paying for it or you're going to pay for it. That's why you even see these days what women say from the beginning when they meet a man. They ask you, do you like to travel? Do you like to go to do ABCD? What she's trying to say is to tell you exactly what high lifestyle is right now. So you as a man, you're going to have to figure out, do I qualify? Can I give her the things she's talking about? So it's very rare that a man will meet a woman who has her own money, use a certain lifestyle, and then she goes down in the lifestyle. She's always going to want you as a man to keep up the same lifestyle. So what some guys do, so in some cases, the women will set off a guy if he's good looking, is charming, but he doesn't have the money. But the issue with that is, as the relationship goes on, because she's used to a certain lifestyle, they're going to clash. They're always going to fight about something. She wants to take a vacation, but the guy can't afford it. And then he doesn't want her to go on her own, but she really wants to go. So usually they get into fights in the relationship.
So how I feel is when I see women get to that point, they've been working with that man for more than a year, more than almost 2 years, and he's still making the same excuses. So eventually she's going to put fire under his ass. And if that makes you insecure, then maybe you need to move around. Why you're insecure has nothing to do with me. You're insecure because of your ability to not perform.
So if you come in making $180,000 a year and I make 75 doing a job that I love, and you say you're going to put fire under my ass.
We can't go on a trip, and we can't go on a trip with that much money.
That's a masculine.
No, you can't, because if you are used to going on expensive trips and booking expensive hotels and going to, you know, doing expensive things on those trips, because you make so much money and you fund those trips, when you have me as your boyfriend or as your husband, you don't expect me to pay for those for those expensive hotels and activities that you are used to. Very few women are going to be like, okay, I get it that I make more than you. I get it that because you make less money, you're not going to be able to afford the expensive lifestyle. So let me reduce my lifestyle. No, most women are going to either want to keep up the same lifestyle or even higher. So even if I make less than you as my woman, you don't want me to get a cheap hotel just because, you know, I make less. You are going to expect me to pay for the same expensive hotels that you used to pay for yourself. So at the end of the day, we are going to clash. You want to keep up the lifestyle, but I can't afford it. So that's why most guys are like, you know what? I can't deal with a woman who makes too much money, especially if she makes more than the man, because she's used to a lifestyle the man can't afford.
If you're telling, hold on, wait. See, the problem is you just said, I put fire under his ass. I'm doing the job that I like to do. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And you start hounding that man, telling him you're not doing enough because I'm doing better than you. Listen.
Sweetie, most women who have these opinions are not in that situation.
Let him get his point out.
Listen. You just said we were talking about specifically women. We were talking about specifically women that are high earners, and they can't even deal with average men or men that make decent money because they feel, oh, he's gonna be insecure about my money. What kind of woman would go and say, I have to light a fire under his ass? And if you don't, what kind of woman? Who would want to be with a woman like that?
Nobody. She doesn't.
Imagine if we came to this panel and we heard women talk about how they were insecure about being house moms or mothers or wives, and then you have a group of men come up here and say, "Man, I had to light a fire under my wife's ass because she wasn't doing what the fuck she was supposed to do." And if she didn't do what she was supposed to do, that bitch had to get gone.
All right.
In this modern generation where people want instant gratification, these are situations that you're seeing most women finding themselves in. Even my sister, she's 5 years younger than me and is a householder. I mean, she's 3 years younger than me and is a house owner. Do you know how hard it is for her to find a man that it can match, not even just match, but just equal to what she's doing?
Do you not hear yourself?
Let me look up these statistics. Let's look up house owners. Okay, let's look up these things. Because the thing is, y'all have to realize as men.
So here's the thing. I think she doesn't get it, right? At the end of the day, most women want a man who can fund their lifestyles. In other words, most women want a man who makes either the same amount of money like they do or even more, preferably more. Because if a woman is used to going out to nice restaurants, you as the new man, she's going to expect you to keep up that same lifestyle. The only difference is she wants you to pay for those restaurants. When you guys go out for dinners, for nice dinners, she's going to expect you to pay for those restaurants, right? Whether you make more than her or you make less than her, as long as you guys are in a relationship, right? So at the end of the day, sometimes women who make more money than the guy or the husband, the boyfriend, may want to motivate the guy or push him to make more money, but they don't do it in a nice way. So sometimes the men feel like the women are walking all over them. And these days we have the whole I'm strong, independent, don't need a man. So sometimes those ladies, maybe they just rub it in their faces, look down on the man because they make more money. So the guy just feels like he's being emasculated. He doesn't feel strong because his woman makes him feel like shit just because she makes more money.
And the reason why women were submissive to y'all is because we understood the load you took. Y'all didn't just get submissiveness just for being men. It's because of the load that you took. Now, when we as women take on that load, we're not getting the same respect. We're not getting the same treatment, the same voice that y'all get as providers or as the gradual owners. You don't think women is going to have an issue with that? If my whole main reason for doing this for you as a man is because you're a provider, is because you're this, and that. Some of these men are not even emotionally intelligent to be asking for the stuff that they be asking for. Y'all lack on almost all areas.
Well, I advise you to read your Bible to figure out the actual reason why you should commit to a man.
I'm speaking about most of the issues that's contributing to the problems we talk about.
Well, whoever's submitting to a man based off that, they need to go and read their Bible to figure out why they should be submitting. But the question I had, I wanted to throw in there was to humble dad, and it relates to the topic. So don't feel bad that I'm taking it away from that. You can still have the floor. But my question to you, humble dad, we believe in the same thing, obviously. We believe in the umbrella of the hierarchy in the word. You know, you got God, you got Christ, you got husband, you got wife, you got kids. What if I told you, I'm not going to name anybody, that a woman said she wouldn't marry her ideal man and submit to him? Let's say the man want to have kids because of her calling. And the argument is, or the question is, does the man's purpose and what he wants of his wife supersede this woman's calling?
Was that a real question?
Yeah.
God damn it, Bruce.
I know, Marcus.
I'm just asking simple questions to make sure that. I'm just simple questions to make sure that whatever way I responded, it's going to showcase that how two brothers are coming from the same standard, pretty much speaking the same thing from it.
It sounds rhetorical. That's what it sounds like. But man, this is crazy. The man is the one that should have the vision, and the woman should be moving with the man's vision. And like I said before, most women have a hard time wanting to concede their position to the man's position. And I understand it, because as my faith is operated in Christ, you know, and I read the Bible, it is not their nature to be submissive because of their mother Eve, right? So it's always been for them to take the headship away from the man. So they would think that they supposed to, like this feminist movement, it makes this make more sense for them to believe that they should have the same position or authority as a man, because it's been going on for several centuries, if you will. So
I never thought about it like that. You know, I mean, I'm Christian, but he just said that, you know, as men, we talk about a woman submitting, but he just said something that I never thought about. He said that it's not in a woman's nature to be submissive. I think what he meant by that is the fact that God gave Eve certain rules to follow Adam, but Eve went on with the snake to eat the fruit. So that means she was not being submissive to the rules God gave her. That makes sense. That means from the beginning, Eve wasn't being submissive. She was breaking all types of rules. So clearly, if you meet a woman who's not submissive, you may have to blame Eve. But also, if a woman is already making her money, it's gonna be very tough for her to submit to a man unless that man is making, you know, bigger moves, bigger money, bigger status. I'm telling you, it's going to be very hard for her because she's used to paying everything for herself. She's used to living a good lifestyle. So when she meets a man it's gonna be very, very, very difficult for her to just submit.